Here are 10 things that I think everybody should know before you really jump into kettlebell training. Number one, I think it's important to understand the origin story of kettlebells. That way you get a full understanding of where they come from and you respect them a little bit better. So this is a pretty cool story. Back in the day, during Russian markets, bakers actually used kettlebells as a way of weighing out supplies to sell their goods. And then they used to start throwing them around in order to woo the ladies as they were coming through the markets. And then Russian armies started seeing the bakers do this and notice how strong they were. And then they started implementing kettlebell exercises into Russian army training. Then how it kind of became more worldwide was that other armies during World War II saw how in shape, how strong the Russian army was, and saw them using and swinging around these kettlebells. And so they started also implementing kettlebells into their training. Pretty interesting, right? Just kind of gives you a little bit of a wow, that's pretty cool understanding and respect for kettlebells. So yeah, it all started as a way to woo the ladies. Number two, kettlebells are great because they're able to do two different types of exercises. Number one, grind exercises, which is more of your traditional strength training where you're holding a weight, moving it through the range of motion in a very systematic start-stop method. The second exercise is ballistic movements, where your body is always active, whether you are creating force, like during a swing, or trying to reduce force when you're coming down out of a swing. It combines strength training with cardio and activates a ton of muscles. And because you're going through cardio and strength exercises simultaneously, you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck. In fact, you can burn up to 20 calories per minute doing ballistic exercises. Number three, the center of gravity makes kettlebells unique compared to anything else. When you're lifting a dumbbell, you hold it in the center of the handle, which is technically the center of gravity, right? You're able to put that weight, if it were super light, on the center of your hand where you would hold it and balance it. That's the center of gravity. With a kettlebell, that's not the same case. Where you hold the weight is not the center of gravity. And because of that, you have to use more stabilizer muscles to work through the exercises, which means you're going to be activating more core muscles, more stabilizer muscles, and again, getting more bang for your buck with each and every rep that you do. Number four, because there's so many different types of ways to hold a kettlebell, whether you're holding it in a single rack, which is gonna really crush your core, and we'll talk about that more in just a second, or you're holding it in a goblet position or an upside down position, you don't need as many weight options as you do with traditional weightlifting. When you're doing dumbbells or barbells, for example, a lot of times you're gonna be working through several different weights in one workout. If you just have 1, 2, maybe 3 kettlebells, that will do you over for a long time to still be able to progressively overload your system so you don't have to invest so much money and so much space in order to knock out your kettlebell training while still seeing some amazing results. Most people, when you're first getting started with kettlebells, I recommend a lighter weight depending on where you are. That's either gonna be a 9 or 12 kilogram weight and then a moderate weight. For most people, that's gonna be a 12 or a 16 kilogram weight. And I'll make sure to include the poundage in that as well. But maybe that's something else that I should mention is that most of the time kettlebells are referred to in kilograms versus pounds, which for us Americans can be very complicated. But number 5, grip strength. If you're somebody that loves to do deadlifts or hanging exercises like leg raises or pull-ups, then kettlebells are a great way to help work on your grip strength. You don't want to give up on an exercise because your grip fails, right? Doing exercises that help with your grip strength is going to help carry over into your other lifts. And kettlebells is an awesome way to do that. If you just knock out big sets of swings, you will feel your forearms, which is a sign that you are improving your grip. I don't remember what number we're on at this point. I think we're at number 6, but the next one I'm gonna tie back to what I mentioned about that front rack position, and it's about improving your posture. Because you're holding a kettlebell in front of you, you're instantly engaging your back muscles and your core, which automatically helps to improve those muscles and which will carry over into helping with your posture. So if you are somebody that often slouches over, or if you're at a desk all day long typing away, then one way to help your posture and your overall form and your movement throughout the day, grab some kettlebells. It's number 7. Be prepared to have to study and learn a new skill. Kettlebells are not something where you can just watch a video and go, man, that looked like a really great workout. I'm gonna give that a shot. And this is a benefit, but at the same time, I think it's also really important to understand going into it that you have to be patient and don't just think that you can grab a heavy weight and start going crazy with it. You need to have patience with yourself. You need to make sure that you're studying. You need to make sure that you're practicing, and you need to make sure that you're being taught by professionals so that you don't end up hurting yourself. Once you have your form down, kettlebells are very safe and they're an amazing thing for you to help protect your body, to help build bone strength, to help with your posture, to help with your overall body strength, but you gotta be able to do it right. So be patient, start light, perfect your form, practice it, and just know in your head that it's gonna take time. You wanna make sure that you're understanding the fundamentals, and I'll make sure to link up to some of the previous fundamental videos that I've done, which includes your kettlebell hip hinge, which will then lead you into being able to do proper swings, cleans, snatches, and then some other cool moves to be able to learn is the kettlebell get up and windmill, some really unique ways to move your body to help with your mobility and your strength and your joint stability. Now, going off of this being a skill, this is probably one of my favorite things. I was always athletic growing up, but I can't say that I was ever an athlete. But when you start swinging a kettlebell around, throwing it around, taking it up into a snatch, driving it back down to the ground, doing moves like the Turkish get up, you feel like an athlete because you have learned a skill that not a lot of people know, and you are seeing great benefits. You feel special. It does require skill, like we've already talked about, learning new things, the fundamental movements. It also requires balance, which you will improve as you get better with kettlebells, and coordination. 3 things that make an athlete an athlete. This is one of the most important. This is number 9, and that is you should know that you need to treat your lighter weights when you're first learning your kettlebells as if it is a heavy weight. This is something I drill into my clients over and over and over and over again. Yes, with a light kettlebell, you can pick it up and just use natural momentum to help you get going. But that's not the proper way to start any movement. You should not just pick it up off the ground, let it dangle between your legs, and start using your hips to move it back and forth. There's a right way to start a swing or a clean. It's called your start-stop position. And if you don't practice it with a lightweight, when you get into a heavy weight, you're gonna carry those bad habits there, and then you're gonna put yourself at risk of injury and decrease your rate of getting stronger and progressing forward. So make sure that you practice the good, important skills with a lightweight as if it were a heavyweight. And then number 10, I wish I had known this from the start. I wish I just had a warning, and that is rips happen, bruises happen, and you just kind of gotta chalk it up to that's part of kettlebell training. Your hands are not gonna be pretty, so if you're somebody who loves having beautiful, uncalloused hands, kettlebells are probably not for you. And in fact, we kind of laugh that when you get your first rip from a kettlebell, you are now officially part of the kettlebell family. It just happens, especially as you continue to push yourself. And if you've never had some kind of kettlebell boo-boo with your hand, whether that is a bruise on your wrist or a ripped callus on your hand or a blister, you're probably not progressing with your load and making it harder and harder on yourself. You're going a little bit too easy. So know that kettlebell bruises and rips happen. It is part of the journey. There are some things that you can do to help heal yourself faster. There are some preventative measures like using wrist guards, which I like to use because I have really tiny wrists, and chalk really does help as well. I have seen kettlebells fly across the room from sweaty hands, so chalk helps a lot, and wrist guards help a lot. Those are my favorite. So those are the top 10 things everybody should know before getting started in kettlebells. Which ones are your favorite? Which ones have you already experienced yourself? And where are you in your kettlebell journey? If you like this video, you guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I put out a brand new video every single week. I do not want you to miss out. In fact, I'd like to hang out with you more often. Every single day, Monday through Friday, I go live twice a day to present a new workout to my Fit Women's Weekly Live online studio. And I'd love for you to try it out. 2 weeks free. I'll make sure to put the link down below. Every single day is a brand new workout. These guys are intense. These are the workouts that I personally use for my own training, and you should give it a go. So come join us over at Fit Women's Weekly Live, see what it's all about, and see if it's the right place for you. And of course, I also will help you out with your kettlebell training. All right, thank you guys.